It was supposed to be the perfect evening. After weeks of missed dinners and late nights at work, Alex and I had finally carved out time for just the two of us. I had planned everything down to the smallest detail: our favorite Italian restaurant, a walk under the stars, and then home to a bottle of red wine and soft jazz. Romance had become a rare luxury in our lives, and tonight, I was determined to reclaim it. The restaurant was cozy, the lighting low and warm, with a soft hum of conversation and the clinking of cutlery. Alex looked handsome, more relaxed than I'd seen him in weeks, his eyes smiling at me as he reached for my hand across the table. For a brief, beautiful moment, the world outside faded. I felt like a newlywed again, caught up in the magic of us. We laughed over old memories, shared secrets like we used to, and when dessert came, tiramisu with 2 spoons, I rested my head lightly on his shoulder, completely content. As we drove home, the city lights painted golden lines on the dashboard. I remember thinking how lucky we were. That feeling would soon vanish. When we reached home, the porch light flickered once, then steadied. I remember it because it struck me as odd. Alex brushed it off, unlocked the door, and let me in first. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Even the usual ticking of the hallway clock felt muted. I walked in, heels clicking on the wooden floor, and set my purse down on the entry table. That's when I heard it. A soft thump from upstairs. Not loud enough to raise alarm, but enough to give me pause. Alex was locking the door behind us when I turned to him and whispered, "Did you hear that?" He raised an eyebrow, shrugged, and told me it was probably the wind. But I wasn't convinced. We stood still for a moment. Silence. Then came the sound again. Louder. A distinct creak followed by a muffled noise, like someone trying not to be heard. Alex's expression changed. He held up a hand, motioning for me to stay quiet. Slowly, he moved toward the kitchen and grabbed the first thing he saw, a heavy, cast-iron pan. I wanted to laugh at the absurdity of it, but fear had already begun to tighten around my chest. My instincts screamed that something was wrong. "Stay here," he whispered, and started up the stairs. "Alex, wait," I hissed, grabbing his arm. "We should call the police." He nodded, hesitated, then handed me his phone before creeping up the steps. I stood frozen, staring after him as I dialed 911. The operator answered the steps. I stood frozen, staring after him as I dialed 911. The operator answered quickly, her voice calm and professional. I told her we thought there was someone in our house. She asked if we were safe. I didn't know how to answer that. Then everything happened at once. A crash came from upstairs. Something slammed into the wall. I heard Alex shout, then a deep, unfamiliar voice snarled something unintelligible. I screamed his name and ran up the stairs before the operator could stop me. The bedroom door was open. Inside, Alex was grappling with a man in dark clothes, tall, masked, and desperate. There was a knife in the intruder's hand. My heart dropped. I didn't think. I just reacted. I grabbed a heavy lamp from the hallway table and slammed it into the burglar's back with every ounce of fear and fury in me. He stumbled, Alex pushed him hard, and they both collapsed onto the floor. The knife skittered away across the room. I grabbed it, hand shaking, and pointed it at him as he struggled to his knees. Alex panted beside me, blood dripping from a cut on his arm. "Don't move," I screamed. The police arrived minutes later, sirens blazing. The man tried to run but was tackled at the door. I don't even remember falling to my knees or how tightly I clung to Alex. All I knew was that he was alive. We were alive. The officers said we were lucky, that the burglar had a record, and things could have ended far worse. The thought haunted me for days. The image of the knife, the sound of the struggle, the sheer terror of that night. But it also changed us. Alex and I became inseparable after that. Every touch held more meaning. Every kiss was a gift. The near-death experience shattered something in me, but it also built something stronger. We found a kind of love that fear couldn't break. And even though that night was meant to be romantic for different reasons, it ended up being unforgettable for one I never saw coming. The house felt different after that night, haunted, not by ghosts, but by memory. Even after the police had left, even after the paramedics had cleaned and bandaged Alex's wound, I couldn't bring myself to go back into the bedroom. The broken lamp was still on the floor, the nightstand overturned, our quilt stained with blood. We slept downstairs on the couch that night, holding each other so tightly that it was hard to breathe.